Hello, good to see you. It's a joy that you get to come here, hang up with me, and get to have this conversation with me. Of course, I am grateful that you guys have been able to join me in this journey of the sheltered family as we grow. And thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting in the first video of our introduction. And of course, subscribing. It's so good that we get to come here and just have these moments of being real, smiling, growing, learning, correcting each other, and of course, becoming empowered as we spoke. Okay, so we get to empower each other and we get to learn and just see how much we can be sheltered as we grow in the journey of life. Yeah, so as our podcast is named, we are beginning with a series of that we are going to name Sheltered, and it's going to have several episodes. But as for today, the first episode that we are kicking in with is how does love shelter us, and love in the perspective of romantic relationships. I know that one is interesting to so many of us because we wonder how by you giving love and you receiving love, how are you being sheltered in any way? Because I believe most of us, we feel like I am good enough on my own. I feel complete. I am good. I'm fine. But then we always realize that we want someone who is substantial in our lives. We want someone who is building us into a good human being, into a good young man, a good lady, and all of that. So we begin by reasoning that how does love actually shelter us? And we are always used to love being that we will compromise, we will sacrifice, we will give a lot, we will care, we will love, we will be there for this other person and all of this. But then what about ourselves? How do we get to benefit from this love? How do we get to hear what this love wants us to hear? How do we learn what this love wants us to learn? How do we become even better persons even as we journey to in this loving someone and receiving love from this other person? So how does love shelter us? And I'll begin by giving you an example of a time myself. I've had an experience. I was dating somebody sometimes back, and our expectation was that we would grow into becoming these ambitious great humans who are living their lives together and everything, and end into the covenant of marriage. But it didn't work out. Of course, life happens the way it does, and we are grateful for everything. But then during that time, I remember I found myself at a point where I didn't realize my partner was trying to shelter me. Yeah, so I remember this time, sometimes back, I was dating this guy and we really hoped it would end well to the level of marriage and everything. But of course, life happened. We did not. And but I remember not knowing that most of the things that he would correct me on, it was the love he had for me, sheltering me from getting ruined, being hurt, and all of that. So to be more specific, I wasn't always the most humble person. Sometimes if I got angry, I would get violent, not like physically violent, but my tone and everything about me would just tell you, keep off. She is nothing you want to be close to, because I was like that. And he used to really correct me on that and be like, you can watch your tone, you can address an issue in a more amicable way, but at that time I didn't really have a teachable spirit. And so I found myself most of the times I did not allow him to shelter me like he wanted to. And so I realize right now that him correcting me on those matters, it was love, the love that he had for me, sheltering me. It was the affection that he felt towards me, just sheltering me. Because of course, if you get angry, we are supposed to control our anger, but I didn't know how to do that back then. And then what made it was the fact that I did not admit that I actually needed to be able to manage my anger, you know. Yeah, so that's one thing I could tell you, that love shelters us really. And of course, most of us, even before we get to this exclusive friendship or relationship with this partner that we are with or we could be with, we want the affection that we're feeling towards them. It helps us even be sheltered ourselves. Like for example, if you and I, we want a partner who is kind, who is patient, who is generous, who is ambitious, and all of these things, we realize that if that's what you want in a partner, the partner will want the same. If that's who he is or if that's who she is, she will want the same in the partner that they get. So if I want a partner who is kind, I am definitely going to journey myself towards being kind. I want to grow into a kind person so that when I am with them, they know that this is the kind of energy I want. So the affection we're feeling towards this one person that we are attracted to, it helps, it shelters us, because it becomes like a fence where we are reminded you cannot just behave anyhow. If you truly want the attention of this person, you cannot just live anyhow. Of course, do not lose yourself, but you also need to understand that you need the best, so you ought to be the best. So this love shelters you from doing things that would hurt you, from taking up a nature that would ruin you, from gaining these traits that would just piss people off, that would not build you into a good human being who is productive, who is living a good life with other humans. So love becomes a shelter. It becomes a boundary that really protects us. And we shouldn't always look at love as something that, it's all about compromising, giving, sacrificing, and all of this. Yes, it's about that. But then, even as you compromise, I would love us to think, are we really, really growing even as we're compromising? Like, we shouldn't just look at it like I can only compromise to lose myself. Think of it as I can also compromise to grow. I can also compromise to stay protected, to stay within safe boundaries, within healthy limits. If my partner would not want me working with a certain kind of company, I should be able to listen to them. I should be able to think that, anyway, this partner of mine, all he wants for me is the best. And so because this partner wants the best for me, they are definitely shielding me. Because if the company I work with, probably it is of these ladies who do not know how to spend money wisely, and me and my partner are aiming at being good people who are spending money wisely and who are saving and who are investing, we will not be able to achieve that. And so if my partner is asking me, could you reconsider maybe not going out more often with these friends of yours, because anytime I'm going out with them, I will come back having spent way more than I had planned and expected, and we will not meet our budget. We will not be able to save. We will not be able to attain our financial goals, and that thing really becomes an hindrance to our growth. So why don't we look at love as a shield? Of course, not taking it as the only thing that can shield us. But yes, when you are taking the step of committing in a love romantic relationship, why would we not view it as where we are getting to a place of being shielded, to a place of being sheltered from so many things that would not lift us up? Maybe because we want the best. Okay, not maybe, but yes, we really want the best. So love shelters us. Love, it's aimed at being, watching us grow, watching us become better, watching us just be empowered. Of course, if it's a healthy relationship that you're getting into, then you should be able to become better in it. You should be able to be challenged. And as you're being challenged, you are shedding off, that skin of staying limited, staying unfocused, staying undetermined. And so it shelters you from, the bad side of every human being, because we all have that weak side, that bad side. But when love, it comes and it's healthy, it is definitely going to shield you, it's going to build you, it's going to empower you. And so, as we even come to a closure of this first episode, I am remembering this verse in the Bible that says, "For love covers a multitude of sin." And I think the love of God really, it's has covered a multitude of sin, because we as humans, we just keep on falling short of the glory. But then the love of God, it has covered us. It has sheltered us from condemnation. It has lifted us beyond feeling like we are the most unworthy people. We are not good enough and all of this. It has covered our past mistakes. It has covered even our failures and everything that we might have done to prove that we are not good enough and we are not worthy of the love. But this love, it has shielded us. It has lifted us, empowered us, and it has covered the sins that we used to have. So relate the same. Your love should be able to cover a multitude of weaknesses from your partner. It should be able to empower your partner, to remind them that they are good enough, to remind them that they are, of course, worthy of your love, that they do not feel like you did them a favor by loving them and taking them in as your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, So let's aim at giving a love that is sheltering our partners, a love that is lifting our partners when they are at their downcast levels, a love that just aims at, I want to see you win. And you can win in love. We can win in relationships. That's one thing I am quite sure of. Yes, so I believe we can close it at that point for today, our first episode. And I want us to interact, of course, comment and let me know what you think about this conversation. Let's have that conversation going. Let me also know what you think about love not being able to shelter us as we receive it and as we give it. And let's keep growing. Let's keep on aiming at being sheltered and also sheltering those who are around ourselves. And I will see you next time in the next episode. Until then, do take care, stay encouraged, stay prayed up, and stay smiling and keep it real. Bye.